And Dad has given us the go signal. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
We're live.
And in living colors, we are the Foster Triplets, and we bring to you
a day
in the life of the Foster Triplets. Woohoo! 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 Woohoo!
And it's and you know, this is a time, this is a space where we are going to be sharing some information.
Yes.
Some embarrassing experiences.
And some just general information, some we haven't shared with you.
A whole lot
from our life in ministry. And different things about us that we haven't shared just yet.
It is the day. Today is the day.
Yes.
Where you will be learning some things about the Foster Triplets that you've never known before.
You've never heard before.
Never heard before. It's exclusive.
But
the thing about this, it's totally free, and you can share it with your family and friends. And so right now there are some requirements for continued viewership of this this broadcast.
Yes,
please go ahead and share. When things are, when you're enjoying something, you have to share it. So if you're enjoying,
and you will enjoy this
at our expense. At our expense, you will enjoy this broadcast. I assure you.
So if you have to go to WhatsApp, Facebook, whatever you use, Twitter or any other social media that I am not aware of, you go ahead and do so. Also, take an anti-cringe pill. You'll need that because we'll be talking about some rather embarrassing situations.
Yes.
But before we go any further, I also want to remind you to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because it's very easy, and we know that many of you who watch at different times do not subscribe. It's very simple. It doesn't cost anything, and it just makes sure that when we post new content, you are aware and you are in the know. Also, you just click the notification bell right next to the video and
next to the subscribe button.
Thank you. There you go.
And you will be notified when we post new videos.
Yes.
And so let's start.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so sorry, another requirement, please be active in the chat. We want to hear from you. We don't want to feel like we're in this alone. So if you have any experiences that might be similar to ours, or
you want to share,
go
ahead.
Share. You are free to.
Yes, Michaela, you were saying.
So let's talk about some experiences that we had when we were on tour, or maybe we were going to churches or things like that, and events. What about you, Malaika? All right then. Well, we were about to sing at this beautiful church, and I was excited. I know every time before we go on the stage, we get this nervous energy. You're nervous,
yes,
but you're excited at the same time. You're pumped. And there's sometimes when I'm just shaking. You're shaking, and then when you reach the stage, it's all good, right? So I was in that phase. Lord, I'm asking you to fill us with the Holy Spirit. Touch my voice.
Help me.
It's early morning. And a lot of times when you sing in the early morning, phlegm can be at your throat, so it's a bit harder to sing
a challenge, and
higher songs or more challenging songs. So I was sitting there, and I remember feeling that the waist of my skirt felt a little bit slack.
Ooh, that.
And the waist of my skirt felt a little bit slack, and then I started to feel a poking right here in my back, and I turned around and I saw a little girl, and I smiled because I love children. I was like, this little girl is so
adorable.
She must have a kinship with me of some sort. And I just turned around and I smiled at that little girl. I was thinking in my mind, she is so adorable, isn't she? And but God, at the end of the day, I realized that she was that donkey in the story of Balaam for me. She was speaking. So she kept poking when I noticed that she wasn't poking the zipper of my skirt. I was kind of really feeling it on my spine. So I remember reaching around, and I felt, and what I felt surprised me. I realized that the buttons on the back of my skirt had failed me. And so the two buttons, they burst. Wow. And the zipper was giving trouble. And now, if you know mom, you know that mom's bag is a, what's the word we call it?
Bottomless pit.
She has all manner of things in there. You can find medicine, you can find pins, you can find a sewing kit, you can find
things.
food. You can find a whole lot of stuff.
And when mom is ready to pack that bag, it is heavy. And you are becoming like mom, Malaika.
And I said, I even yesterday I said it to myself. I said, I remember we were on tour in India and I saw mom's bag. I said, Mom, why are you carrying such a heavy bag? It's not necessary. I won't become like that. And
right.
I am
never, right? That could never happen.
It has happened. I'm just saying it. I carry everything. I pack for
every occasion.
For
yes.
everything. You know.
Every possible outcome.
So Mom, I remember touching Mom. I said, Mom, there's a wardrobe malfunction.
Yes.
Mom carried me to the bathroom and thank God for safety pins. Those pins, they stayed straight through the whole day, and we had a concert in the afternoon. So sometimes we do the morning service and then we do a concert in the afternoon. And we were doing a concert that afternoon, and by the grace of God, those pins stayed.
So are you saying that the girl helped to make you aware of the situation going on right there?
So basically, God can use even little children to get the message across.
Yes,
so I literally would have gone up on the stage with my skirt, you know,
not in a good shape.
I actually remember having one of those situations. I believe I was in Florida at the time. We were in Florida. Why am I saying I? We were in Florida, and I was sitting in church, and I remember I was having a mental war at the time. I don't remember if I was in a mental place to sing or if I was actually feeling. I think something had happened before. I don't remember what had happened, but I do remember feeling very down. One thing that with ministry is that you're not going to ever feel always on top. It's not always going to be sunshine, you know. And a lot of times before you sing, there's a situation that can make you sad,
to break you,
or you start feeling pain, or you get angry for some reason, and you have to ask the Lord to help you, you know, to get those emotions under control. And so I was not in a mental space. I was praying about it, asking God to help me, you know, get me in that right frame of mind to sing. But when I looked down, the buttons on the front of my dress were gone. I think about 2 of them, and it was
what
not
do we
good.
have with buttons, Michaeli?
I think we have to avoid those.
That's a good idea. We should.
So I remember looking over at Mom. I told her the situation, and Mom carried me to the bathroom, and it was such a good thing that a beautiful lady had had a sewing kit on hand.
Yes.
And Mom was able to patch up the whole thing. But then mentally, what that did to me was, I'm saying, I kind of had not like an anxiety attack, but more of just a realization that I could have gone up there and I could have exposed myself. I could have embarrassed myself.
It's the mercies of the Lord that keep us in every sphere.
Life.
Yes,
and so I cried a little. I did cry a little because I did because I was not.
Tell me. Yes.
I wasn't
I'm just hearing this.
I wasn't in. Mom knew. Mom knew I did though. Mom knew I did.
Michaeli.
And she prayed for me. That's one thing about Mom, having her on hand, especially when we're going to sing and stuff like that. Mom is the prayer warrior.
Yes.
So if we're feeling, there are so many other influences coming in and trying to discourage us.
Yeah, Mom's prayers
there are microphone issues. People are being not nice. You'll see Mom closing her eyes and praying, or she'll carry us to the bathroom
and she'll pray with us.
And so having that support, that's one of the things that has kept me.
Yes.
Even now, because of Mom's prayers and even Dad's prayers.
Oh yeah.
But more specifically,
I was just about to ask about that.
I mean, Dad's prayers are awesome. Mom's prayers, you know, it's just that
Mom's prayers hit home. Mom has a motherly prayer. But we love your prayers too. They're very protective and covering prayers.
A few about last week, the 3 of us woke up and I heard in my subconscious, in my sleep, I heard a sound. And it's almost like the bed was vibrating. So I opened my eyes and I looked down at the foot of the bed.
And there's Dad praying.
Yes, and then I look over and then
there's
I see Mom. And then I hear, "Wake them up, Lord."
No, at first I thought I was seeing something really scary because Mom's hair is very long. So in the night it looks really scary. No, so I saw Mom. So Mom's hair was forward, and I see the hair like this. Oh, Mom kind of
So
looked like something
I
out of
said,
a horror film or something like
What
that.
is that?
And then I heard the sound. Yep,
Mom is praying.
That's Mom.
I mean, I've been frightened so many times over the years to wake up and find I feel something squeezing my foot or shaking it, and I look over and I, what's going on? And then that's my mother. That's my mother.
But it is reassuring.
That's my father.
It is
Yes.
reassuring. It might be quite uncomfortable, especially if you are sleeping, but it is reassuring that
know,
somebody is
yes.
praying for you. And
I'd
so
like to
I
say-
got, because of Mom's prayers in that situation, I got over it, and I praise the Lord.
Is that how you do it?
Okay, but I could have gotten
She
over
didn't.
that.
Oh.
What about?
What's this? What's this? She doesn't know how to give a fist bump.
She doesn't know how to give a fist bump. Oh, I rebuke
I did-
you.
I did like this.
and Vicky was like,
What is it this time? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
okay, so Mahari, an experience from you in ministry. Oh, me. So, oh Lord. So I was at a tent crusade. Some might call it a tent revival
Yes.
in the USA.
I don't know. Hold on a second. Don't you just love tent revivals?
I love it.
There
Tent
is
crusades.
there is
something different
there's just
about
something
them.
about it.
Yes. The portable bathrooms. Yeah,
We totally
everything.
love those, don't we?
I think what I really love is the tent revival.
Yes.
Maybe not the portable bathrooms.
The
but
music
tent
and
revival.
seeing people
they
come
really
to
put a
Jesus.
lot of effort into the tent crusades because you're appealing to people in the community at different places. So they definitely put more work and effort
Into soul winning.
into soul winning. I was going to this tent crusade.
And we were about 12 or 13. Right?
We were around 12 or 13.
Yes.
And the thing about these
We were
tent
just
crusades,
pubescent kids.
the thing about these tent crusades, many of the tents are not pitched on very solid ground.
That is
in Jamaica.
that is very generous of you to say. They're fit on foot. There's very
Uneven surface.
uneven surfaces. Thank you, Dad.
Thank you.
So I came out of the car. I was wearing a really nice dress, nice shoes,
And I think it was our first. We were just starting to wear wedge heels.
wedge heels. They were very little. They were about
Wedge
this.
heels.
Like,
They were
he had
about
kind of a
wedges.
race to the front. And here's the thing that I always like to say: if you learn to walk on Jamaican terrain in heels, you can walk.
You learn
anywhere,
to walk in heels anywhere.
And that is really the truth,
It's
because the
tested and
terrain is made for a professional. You see, drive in Jamaica, you will drive anywhere else.
I mean, the roads are small.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Very winding. And the drivers are I'll not
Interesting.
comment about that, but they're
Interesting.
very interesting drivers in Jamaica.
That is a good driver.
Yes.
Mom is a good driver, and
Yes.
I intend to follow them.
Dad, when will the driving lesson start? Since we are on camera, would you like to come and tell the individuals that you're not keeping us giving us driving lessons as frequently as you'd like to?
Well, I'm happy by the fact that I'm on camera and I'm doing editing. I think I can just cut this out.
Dad. Dad
Okay.
says he can cut it out. Wow,
Okay.
Dad. Okay, so I come out of the car and persons turn and they look because a car just pulls
pulled up.
So people not only at the back but
at the front.
closer to the front.
And this is Jamaica, everybody. The inquisitiveness, the level of
Nature.
inquisitiveness in people is astounding. So
everywhere.
It's
Everyone
everywhere,
turns
so-
and looks.
Everyone.
So they turned like this, and as soon as I stepped in the view of everybody,
there's just something serious.
I have to show them my life.
Okay.
So I come. Are you seeing me, Dad? You're seeing me? I came out of the car. Go. And I go like this.
Now let me tell you one thing about heels. There's always a way you go down.
You don't go down
universal
straight.
pattern. You don't
You go like
daintily
this.
Go down.
Woo!
Your ankle twists, and then you have this kind of dance where your
Like a little-
hands go daintily to the
Whoa.
side, and you just
No,
no,
it's not dating.
it's just a bit faster.
It's tragic. That's what it is. It's a very terrible fall. So
And the interesting part was that everybody laughed. It not everybody, sis, but in your childlike brain, everybody.
the interesting thing is that generally we find many of the youth sitting at the back of the church. So I had the younger
of the
generation right
around there.
at the back right there. So they just guffawed. They were not too kind.
And here's the thing about it: if my sister is embarrassed, I'm
immediately
embarrassed.
Yes.
But the thing is, with the three of us, if she cries, oh,
I can't deal with
prepare
it.
for everybody to start crying.
I mean, let's go to our childhood a bit right there,
Yes.
because when we were younger, it did not matter what situation. Dad, would you like to come talk about this? Come right here, Dad. You have to talk
Quickly.
about when quickly, Dad, because when we were younger,
No, it's okay. Sit.
I can sit. Okay, so when we were younger, Dad, how was it when? Easy, that's magic.
that works.
Okay, so when we were younger, Dad, and you put one of us on punishment. How was it?
How was it?
Those are interesting days, because if one person starts to cry, as a matter of fact, if your mother and I were to punish one of you, would I put you on timeout
Oh dear.
or something, and we had what we called the little corner.
Yes.
Oh,
And
that corner.
that was one of the things we used to put you on timeout.
Yes.
And if one was put on timeout, the other two would not be pleased with us.
No.
Yes.
So we became public
Okay.
enemy number one. And of course, we
So even if I did something to anger my sister in some way, or I was rude to my sister, that
That's
I would
correct.
I would still
for
not
it.
like you in
that's
this
correct. So
situation.
if we were to step in, and so that's why a lot of times what we would do is allow the three of you to resolve it rather than get involved. And a lot of times what would happen is that if one person is punished, all three end up crying. And I am not sure why. If maybe-
it touches my
Your
heart,
heart.
that
It's
my
like you're feeling
heartstrings,
the pain
they
too.
are pulled. My heartstrings are pulled.
we need to try it. So we need to punish you and then try it and see if it will happen now.
Ayo, that's not a very nice thing
Just
to
just
do.
to touch on punishments. Dad and Mom's punishments
were
were.
very interesting
Yes,
over the
I remember.
years.
Does anyone remember what's it name? Isolation.
Oh, I mean, as a child, I mean, no. If you actually, weirdly so, if I am supposed to,
I
to
would
be
say thank you
isolated,
so much.
I just sleep.
Thank you so much.
Mom and
I
Dad's
need to sleep.
isolation wasn't isolation, as in
back
you
then.
will not see anybody. It was the type where they
When a very fun
a
event.
very
left with a
fun
book.
event is happening.
Yes.
They give you a book,
and
or-
you're reading this chapter, and then you're going to summarize.
summarize,
And present it and,
present
defend
it.
that thesis, you know? Defend
Yes,
it. Why
defend
do you
it.
agree? Why do you disagree? You know?
Yes. Okay. So
How did we reach there?
I don't know, but we reached there. So
Somehow.
in honor of our 19 years together, what were some of the highlights of having me as your sister?
Just being with you.
Yeah.
Having these moments where it's not moments, but every day we just get each other. It's just a different level of friendship and camaraderie, and just this bond that it's so deep that it's hard to see life without you in it.
Not only did we share a womb, we share blood, we share genes. we
share
are
a purpose.
triplets. We share a purpose, which is ministry, and we also share the same studies in
But
school.
sis, I'm asking you like a moment that you just said, you know what? I'm so glad she's my sister. And those moments. Where she's so, I'm so glad she's my sister. I remember. Now we're there. Please, there is a video upcoming, a self-esteem video,
Yes.
where I tell all about my struggle with self-esteem. Yes. Now I remember where this little boy, he was actually our cousin. He was being pretty rude about my eye, and I remember my sister Mahari puffed up her chest, and she walked up to him.
How
Don't
old
you?
was she? How
We
old was
were. It was at a family reunion.
Oh, we were
And-
pretty little then, weren't we?
Yes, very young. And she said, "Don't you dare, don't you dare speak to my sister like that, or I will punch you." And I looked up and I said, "Oh my goodness, just to think that I had someone who had my back." I mean, it happens all the time, but this is the most memorable thing right now.
I mean, memorable for me
Not
was
memorable, but just one of the things that jumps out at me.
I'm coming to
You were so little and he was much taller, and I was I will
Bigger.
punch you.
I remember when Malaika, she put
Oh,
a
my
ruler,
goodness.
a
Okay.
ruler in her side.
Not only a ruler, sis. There were
Different
sticks.
There were
and
sticks and stones and whatever,
stones.
acting like she was a little David.
She deduced that there was a imminent threat upon Mahari and I, and she decided that as the bigger sister, as the firstborn, she would annihilate that threat by protecting us, and
With
by
sticks and
doing
stones.
so,
With
she
sticks and
meant
stones.
since David, her reasoning was since David had 5 smooth stones,
Oh dear.
she put 5 smooth stones.
They weren't
or
that
smooth. They weren't smooth, sister. They were jagged rocks. Yes. She put 5 stones, 5 something wrapped around her waist, and she stuck sticks in there and a ruler, and she was there parading around the place. But still, that moment stuck with
Mind
me.
you, it was also underneath my pillow. I don't understand how you forgot that. Under your what?
You did stuff like that?
Huh? They were underneath my pillow too.
Oh,
And
how
Mom
long
took
did you
them
sleep
out.
with them underneath?
Just one night, it was so uncomfortable.
Okay. What about me?
Okay, for Michaela, I remember Michaela is very protective of me, because if I make the smallest choking sound ever, it doesn't matter what. Are you okay? She will rush over.
I mean, if all of us, if we hear even a little sound for anyone in
any
our
little
family,
sound, and
everybody is running.
you know that's not the only thing. It's how you two of you check on me at random times. And Michaela told me, I think it was
I
a
get
week
up
ago.
and check her
I
pulse
got up
or
and checked
her-
your
or if
pulse,
she's breathing at night.
If you were breathing last night, I got up and checked on two of you.
It's not paranoid. We're totally normal.
We're totally normal. We're not weird people. Sorry. Okay, we're weird slightly. Okay. But bringing us back to ministry and how our life is on the road, I want you to detail
What's a day?
What-
What's traveling like?
yes, what is traveling like for us.
Okay,
Well, it
let's start
depends on
in
where we're
Jamaica
going.
before we leave, okay?
Yes, so start in Jamaica.
It is chaotic. It's packing. I mean, we have, but I'm a packer. I will pack. I'm going for 3 months and I'll pack for a year, and it is not,
and it's very annoying.
It's not a bad trait when it's controlled.
Yes.
Right?
You know. That's true.
Right.
Yes.
It always happens like this. Before we go to the airport, it's Mommy,
And we had to run for our flight.
we
had to run for our flight.
I think I
happened more
think
than
I
once.
actually was at the Olympics or something, because you should have seen me running with those bags, sister.
Speaking of running, Michaela, we have a story that will be upcoming. We're going to be talking about when we were at Fort Lauderdale airport shooting. And I'll just share a small quote from that event that said, "The little Bruce can run,
You
man.
see?
They can run."
We
We
ran. We ran.
We ran.
I didn't know I had it in me. I didn't know I could channel that Usain Bolt, and I let it out in the name of Jesus.
We ran.
Okay, so
we were speaking
when
about
we pack.
mom.
So when we pack, it's a very, the house will get quite messy when we pack. So remember, when you have people who sing, you're
There are
packing
changes of-
several
changes of
outfits,
outfits.
different changes of clothes.
And then last minute trips to the dressmaker for alteration, for to maybe adjust clothing, to pick up something from dry
the dry cleaners. It is a whirlwind of, and I must tell you, there's a lot of work that goes behind our outfits. There's a lot of planning. There's a lot of
strategizing,
details and strategizing.
planning our equipment that has so
Equipment.
many things to
Yes.
do. You know, in
Carrying the equipment, microphones,
Yes,
stuff
and
like
not
that.
only regarding that, but the fact of the matter is that Dad not only has to do with the technical aspects taking care of us,
Yes.
he also has to take care of our safety.
Yes.
Because although we don't see ourselves as celebrities or anything of that sort, we still have to focus on that aspect.
We still have to focus on security.
Still have to
Security is
focus
still
on
important.
security.
And at the end of the day,
There's
when-
so much that goes into it.
yes, even planning the itinerary. We're going to be here first. This is where we're going to go. We have to make sure that we're on the road 3 days ahead of time so that we can get to this next venue.
And that is very, very instrumental in the
Driving-
passports, everything, whatever needs to be
driving us
printed.
from point A to point B.
And timing. That is always the one with
Bless his
timing.
heart.
Bless his heart.
I mean,
We would have been so painfully late for many things, more late because
More.
we still make that late many times, and
we get on Dad's last.
we
nerve.
get on last.
He's a
nerve.
man of time, and we just inherited mom's sense of time.
We know we
Yes.
don't have to put out all our bad traits out there. We're not too bad. We're getting better, right? Now?
Right now, that is
Right?
I like. Oh, that's like getting better.
Yes. Yes.
I can.
That's it. Oh, please.
I can say we're getting better in the timing area. I'm learning to manage my time better.
Especially when you have school.
Yes, and the truth be told, when it comes on to singing now, I'll get up at 4 in the morning to get to this venue,
And then we reach late.
and
still.
I will reach late. And
I don't know how that happens.
I don't know how it happens. It
It's
makes
an
no
art.
sense.
It's
It's
an
an
art.
art, sister.
It's
It
an
is an
art.
art. You get up early, you do all that you have to do, and you still end up late.
It's an art.
It's
We
not
have-
an art, girl. It's procrastination.
But you know what? That's the other thing I love about you. Your humor at random times. Your
So-
humor at random times.
Yes, so about the packing now, I'll go right back to the clothing. I know a lot of you have been from our last video with mom interviewing us. Everybody was saying, oh, the dresses are so nice. Where did you buy them from? And I have to credit a lot of that to mom. And
What do you mean a lot?
most of it to
Yeah,
mom,
most.
and also our
All of it. Yeah.
and our dressmakers as well. Many times we've made mom visualize something, she sent it to the dressmaker, and then it comes back and we do not like it. It's just not it. And then mom says, you know what, God, what do I do? Mom
What
said,
do I do with this?
Jesus, what do I do now?
That's how mom's doing. Lord, what do I do now?
And then she'll say, you know what, this is what we're going to do, and it always works.
Put a
Yes.
scarf on this, do that, and it always seems to come together.
Yes.
So for that aspect of our lives, God has really gifted mom with that
Speaking of which,
strength.
I'm
with
missing
clothing.
mom right now.
Mom is not here right now, so we're kind of lost. You see.
So after we warm up, we're on the road. We're drinking lemon and honey tea, or thyme tea. Thyme helps to remove phlegm. Or just warm water because you're in such a rush you can't
Just make
any
it.
tea.
And
here's
I
the thing
remember
about
that.
it: eating, 3 of us
Don't
not
like
eat anything.
eating
We
much.
when we
Hardly
we'll probably eat an apple or fruits or something like that. But
we
I
always have to
appetite-
force our breakfast.
My appetite is non-existent. I am a little bird that pecks.
Do we have any more experiences that you would like to share, Malaika?
Oh.
Cringe pale.
I remember
I just
when
took one.
I remember I was singing at the 10 Crusade again. And
What is it with 10 Crusade and buttons?
it's not buttons this time, sis.
Right. Go ahead.
I know you are aware of my ill feelings towards bees.
Right. If you haven't watched that video,
Go ahead.
Malaika faces her fear. You would have seen that Malaika hates bees, and I am starting to hate them because
She got stung.
I got stung underneath my foot.
all those nerve
Because you
endings,
stepped
right?
on one, didn't you? I stepped on the bee.
It was down on the floor saying, "Do not tread on me," and you didn't listen.
I did.
While we were singing on the stage, there were wasps flying everywhere. They were very acquainted with the area, and I don't think they were very happy with me being in their territory. So it was like I was praying because I don't like wasps.
You
I
don't
really
like anything
don't
that
like-
crawls, Malaika.
or bees
Or bees.
Yes.
Or anything. Yeah.
No,
Lizards
any
is good.
insect that crawls.
Insect.
Let's put that there. Any insect.
Because yesterday,
flies.
Malaika, you were supposed to go outside and there was a lizard on the door and you did not want to go through
She
the
had to
door.
let me go get the lizard away from her first before she passed through the door.
You spoiled
that
little
is
girl.
that is another. That's not the benefit of having sisters. They slay your dragons.
I won't slay your dragons
Amen.
forever.
I know. I'm getting better.
Stand on your own 2 feet.
Yes, I'm getting better.
I have a lecture
I'm in therapy.
waiting. I have a lecture waiting for you in the car.
So, I was praying. I said, Lord, please don't let me scream, because that is what I do when I'm scared. I scream, and it's not a low, womanly scream. It's a very high, shrill, very
banshee.
yes, a very banshee scream. And I really didn't want to embarrass myself or you two,
Which you still did.
and thank you for letting me know. And it's almost like when you see something in slow motion, it actually happens. And it's almost like I saw the wasp. He flew off, and I was keeping my eye on it, and it flew out towards the back of the tent, and I breathed a sigh of relief.
No, it was it turned on the runway way. You know how the plane turns on the runway?
Yes, but it's coming back down again,
Right, that you see sometimes when the plane turns and
getting ready.
it's
getting
just
ready to turn.
preparing its tarmac right there
Okay.
to go right at you.
So I saw it fly out of the tent, and I breathed a sigh of relief, and I said, I can finally worship in peace.
And then
And I opened my eyes, and it was just right before me. It's like it just appeared out of nowhere. It
So what did you do?
I just saw it coming, and I was standing and I was singing, and it wasn't a part where a ooh was necessary, of course. So I clearly was scared by something. So I said ooh, and I daintily went back. Of course, I'll think that of myself.
Right.
And so I went back, and then I came back up, and my eyes were wide open, and then for the rest of the time we were singing, I saw no more wasps. And my heart was racing, and my palms were sweating, and I'm not going to feel bad about what I prayed. I said, Lord, please help us not to go up there and sing anymore. I don't want to go back up there.
Wow.
I don't want to.
Wow. Was this the time when you fell off
was
the
that
stage?
the same
You fell off the stage, or that was a different incident?
Why are you bringing that up?
Was that when you fell off the stage?
That was another incident at a different tent crusade.
Okay, Malika
It's been
fell
a
off
lot
the
of them.
stage at the 10th crusade, and everyone's laughing.
Correction. I levitated off the stage, and I gently landed on
No,
the
ma'am.
side. That's
No,
what you
ma'am.
have to believe it
No,
to
ma'am.
be. Well, the truth be told, Mom always said to us, never stand with your feet too closely together
And she's still trying to get that out of you.
when you're singing, and because you will fall. And I
you
made the
did not
mistake
proper
of standing. Right, I made the mistake of standing at the end of the stage with my 2 feet together, and I was young. And I
You
felt
must listen
myself.
to your mother, little guy.
I was into the music, and I felt myself leading, and I opened my eyes. This is not normal, I'm not rocking side to side. I can't go back up. I'm actually going down. we're hitting water, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to crash land. So I decided, what better way to fall than to actually jump off. It's a bit more, saves your pride a bit more. So I jumped.
Malika, the song that we were singing wasn't befitting for you to jump at the time. It was a very somber song. I think we were singing Mercy Walked In.
You don't.
Mercy Walked. She went
Malika.
up.
But the Mercy walked in. I could have fallen on my face, and Mercy walked in. You don't know who that jump saved, honey.
You know what? Let's just say everything happens for a reason. I don't know.
You don't know who that fall saved.
Right. Maybe someone was
Don't let me
sleeping
start
while we were
preaching in
singing.
here.
Okay. Someone was sleeping while we were singing, and that helped them to wake up, and there was a message in the song for them.
A message.
We'll
yes.
keep it at that. What about you, sis? Me.
Me.
The Lord has been good to me in that department.
Are you saying the Lord has been bad to me?
I'm saying He has seen it fit to not put me through those trials and tribulations. You know what He said? He gives His biggest battles to His strongest soldiers. So I'm not that strong as He, right? And we'll be coming up to that, Michael, because you have a very... Get to your part first, okay? Okay. All right. So I do remember at one point let's talk about the moments where pride sort of comes in.
Yes.
So I was singing.
Where were we?
I don't remember which church it was. I was still pretty young, but there's the days where everything in the song is going okay. The harmony is together because you're able to hear better. The acoustics are good. The microphones are good.
The mixing is
The
going
mixing as well. Everything is lovely, and we were singing. And I remember the exact moment I got self-sufficient.
Yes.
I remember it. I felt, the first thought came in my mind, I've got this. And you see exactly when I said I've got this, the biggest crack
Hey.
that has ever happened to me in my life
Yes.
happened at that moment. I cannot describe it to you because it might hurt my voice if I try to do that. But it was very embarrassing.
The biggest voice crack ever.
The biggest voice crack ever. And it was not like it was not, people were not able to hear it. It was very audible.
Very obvious.
And so when I came down off the stage, I had to think. I think I sat in the chair with my head down for a bit. I was thinking, what just happened? And then God brought it back to me. You were being very self-sufficient. You thought you could do this on your own. So it can be related back to anything else in our lives. Be it a job, choosing a prospective partner, could be even the little things, as in choosing what to wear. I can do this on my own. I've got the colors coordinated and everything. But I mean, trusting God in the little things and trusting Him in the big things is very important.
I know that situation has happened to me before, just not in that big of a way. I remember one time, I said, this sounds good. I think we're doing well. And not that it's not wrong, but
I guess the way in which
I thought it wasn't in a this sounds pretty good way. I think it was a time, I think, in my spiritual walk where how can I say this, where I was relying more on me and my skills and forgetting who gave me this and who was the master of it, and I haven't reached. I forgot all of that. And I think God brought it back to me. And the thing about it, I was reading at the time and seeing that Bible verse about pride, going before a fall in the heart, spirit before destruction, about God, and other one about God lifting your skirts above your head.
Mom loved to read that one.
Mom used to read that to us a lot, but not a lot, but she used to, any promise in the Bible that she'd remember, and any little lesson, anything,
even that, any lesson that everything that God has told him to tell us. He's transferred that message, and if he reveals something to him, if there's an object lesson or something.
Yes, object lessons are so common even now.
The thing about mom and dad is that even when we think, I got that message last time 2 days ago, mom goes back to another Bible text, and mom says, you shall teach it to your children when they lie down, when they rise up, when they walk by the way.
Okay. Yes, and if we and oh my goodness,
what?
I'm just remembering at some points in my life where I reached to a place where I was feeling that this was me, and mom would come up to me and mom said, are you letting Jesus lead? Times when in any different, I remember all different places where I've been in my spiritual walk where I've gotten the right message at the right time from mom and dad. And it was so necessary to just bring home whatever God was telling me. Sometimes there's a still small voice in your head, but when God impresses it on other people to speak to you, sometimes it just brings it home.
And on that note, Michaela, would you like to share something? So I remember this time when we were doing a tour in the Indiana to Michigan, to Chicago area, and we were at this church
doing a concert.
Beautiful church. We were doing this evening concert, and wonderful people. And
yes,
I remember we were doing the program, and I had been drinking a whole lot of water. I remember, I think I had a thermos with tea.
Yes, and just saying, tea makes you pee.
Yes,
it rhymes, and just remember that in your life.
Remember that. Remember.
I just gave you pearls of wisdom.
Pearls of wisdom right there. Tea makes you go to the restroom. But I was obviously not cognizant of that fact. And we were singing I've Come Too Far to Look Back.
Yes.
I'm getting there, sis. Hold on. So I remember everything was going quite well in the program. God was doing wonderful things. And
I remember we were about to sing, so before I could use the bathroom, because Dad was doing kind of like a little slot in the program, speaking, so we normally use that to go out, get a bathroom break, and kind of hurry back inside of the auditorium or the church,
or also get our bearings, because sometimes it's when I come up the stairs, it's the not stairs, stage. Sometimes I'm disoriented for some reason. So we use that time to just decompress,
pray,
and
maybe warm up a little. And so I remember Dad was finishing up his slot, so we had to rush back inside, so I could not get to use the bathroom. I had to just go right back inside, and I was doing the second to last song. And I remember it was I've Come Too Far to Look Back, as you were saying, and I got into the middle of the song, and I remember my bladder was just saying, now is the time of salvation.
It's time to go.
It's time to go. And you cannot necessarily stop in the middle of the song and say, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, bathroom break here. Just a minute, I'll be back. But on that note, leave it at I've come too far. I'll be back.
We'll be back.
Hold on right there. When I sung the line, but I'm nearing the home shore.
Whoosh! Home run.
The fountains of the deep opened. And you know the rest of the story, sisters and brothers.
No, they don't.
Can I come in and tell a part of the story?
Sure. Okay.
Because it was very uncomfortable.
For sure, for everybody.
Yeah, I remember I was sitting closer to the front of the church, and I wasn't really looking at you, but I remember somebody touched me and said to me,
Somebody touched me,
that they think one of you needs some assistance. And then when I looked up, and the good thing about it was that it was a carpeted church. I think that was good.
Is that good or bad thing?
I think it was good. But then I realized what was happening, and I must commend you, though, Michaela.
Oh yes, this girl handled it so well.
I was amazed that
to the end.
You did not stop and break down.
Your 15-year-old, your 14-year-old self.
I was 13.
13-year-old self.
I was nearly crying on your behalf, but we finished
I
the
looked
song.
at her, I saw she was being strong, and I sang. Yeah. And she didn't cry. She didn't look like anything happened. She didn't pretend like anything happened.
Thank you for your input, Dad.
She sang with the same gusto that she was singing before everything.
She finished
the song. What was going through my mind at the time was utter panic.
I was panicking in my head too, sis.
There were so many options running through my mind. Do I stop singing? Do I run out here crying? Or do I finish the song and then go back and go down?
So all those options are staring you in the face, and you have to make a choice quickly. What do you do?
It's a quick choice, really, because and that choice is going to stick with you for the rest of your life. How you handle that situation. And so I remember saying, God, just bring me through this song. Just bring me through the song. I've come too far to look back right now.
Hey.
And I don't know, the song was weirdly appropriate for the situation I was in at the time. That was a time when I actually really I do relate to all of the songs that I sing. I ask God to make me understand the lyrics so I can, and the words of the song and the melody so I can portray it to others.
Yeah, have a change with that
But
song.
that's when I really actually the song resonated with me. It connected with me. And when I was finished, I remember coming down. I walked off the stage. I walked out the back door. I did not cry. I walked
downstairs.
This was a packed church, and we weren't standing behind the podium. Okay. I walked downstairs. I walked straight to the bathroom. I locked myself in a stall. And then that's when the tears came.
I went in the sister stall.
I went in the family
beside you.
The family one. That's not the family one. The one for persons with
Weren't we always in one stall together?
No, you were in a different
We
stall.
were all in the same stall. It was the one at the far end.
Oh, we were all
The
all
one
in
for
the same stall
disabilities.
again.
Yes.
Yes, I do remember we were in the same stall, but I remember I was by myself at first, and I remember
Because I had stopped to speak with people.
yes, 2 of us had stopped. to
Right,
speak
we
with
were
some
doing
people.
damage control, sis.
We weren't.
Yes, we were, sis.
We were. I
We
remember just
We're
sitting in that stall.
communicating
I
and
remember
stuff, yeah.
sitting in the stall and crying. And crying.
I
And the
came, I
things-
knocked on the door.
Yes.
And then I entered. I saw her crying.
I
And
burst
we started
out crying.
She started crying. We started
We started
crying.
But I think if we may add to it, the good thing is that there were some persons who were there, some people who were very understanding.
Oh, yes.
Your mom wasn't with us
Oh, yes.
on that particular trip.
Yes, she wasn't there.
And so some ladies of the church they came and they were very supportive
yes.
and they helped to just console.
Yes.
And when your mom heard what happened,
Mom
cried.
bawled.
We called mom. We told mom. She hears Michaela crying and telling her what's going on, and then I hear mom's. I know the sound. I know the telltale signs of my family when they cry, and mom's voice starts to get a bit thicker. I said,
Yeah.
yes, mom is crying, so everybody started crying again. And I remember, I just go back to the stall in the bathroom. I remember thinking, how do I come out of this stall? How do I step out of this bathroom?
Yes.
I don't remember how long I stayed in the bathroom. I don't remember how long it took for me to get myself under control. But one thing I know is it was one of the hardest moments of my life.
Oh, yeah.
Because stepping out of that stall is one of the hardest things. You have to walk past where people are. You have to not only pass them, but sometimes they'll stop you to talk to you.
And how do you handle that?
do you handle that? And so I was in turmoil. My life, not my life,
13-year-old brain.
but my
14.
13-year-old
13.
life was turned upside down, thinking, how am I supposed to sing again? People were recording this
Yes.
this concert.
Some were sharing it on Facebook.
People maybe some people might have been live at the time. How do I get up from that? How do I process all of this? And so I stayed in the bathroom for a while. Of course, my sisters cried with me, and in that time you don't need to hear somebody saying, oh, it's fine, it's going to be okay.
Someone that empathizes.
At one point in your life, you don't need that. What you need is empathy. What you need is somebody that will sit and say, I'm here for you,
Or we'll just cry with you.
and I will cry with you. And I understand, I feel your pain like it is my own, and you need that type of understanding. And the reason we were crying wasn't, woe is me, I was there too.
Oh my goodness, I'm
I'm caught
embarrassed.
in this scandal. No, it was, oh my goodness, I can only imagine what
how much
she's
she must be feeling.
at this moment. So there was, after that incident, a day after or so, my first coping mechanism was I just press all of that down into my mind and don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't even think about it. Don't go near that memory, that file cabinet. Never do it. And I recognized that it was only eating me up from the inside. I was hurting myself by not speaking about it. Yes, my family was there. Yes, my family supported me. Yes, they knew that I was embarrassed and hurt. But I think speaking about it, coming to terms with all of it, really was the hard part. And there was a lot of prayer put into doing that, into getting over it, into being able to freely speak about it now.
And then
Maybe somebody, you listening right now, you may have a similar have had a similar situation, or maybe going through a similar situation, or even a worse situation than what I faced, and you're thinking, how do I move on? How do I reconcile the trauma, the hurt that I've experienced? How do I move on from that? How do I walk with my head held high? How do I
act as if it's okay.
act as if everything is fine with me when it really isn't okay?
How did things go when you went to other churches right after that? Because if I remember correctly, the day after,
There was kind
you
of
had
some
another
trauma
event.
there, because right then I had to, if I was going to sing,
I would be in the bathroom maybe a minute or two before I went up on the stage, because I wanted to make sure that I did not have a repeat of the same situation that I went through.
There's a lot of anxiety in that.
It probably happened for a year or so, and soon after the incident, Michaeli.
Wait, I'm getting there.
But the healing process, as I was saying, was very hard, and you're going to go through. It's going to be tough. I'm not saying it will be easy. I'm not saying it will be a bed of roses that you'd fall down today and you get up and say, "Oh, I'm good, I'm fine."
Everyone is different.
No.
Some people.
Everyone is different. Maybe your recovery time for those situations might be
longer.
quite longer, or maybe it might be short. You just get up and brush off and saying, "Yeah, yes sir, yes ma'am, I'm ready to do what I'm called to do. I'm ready to fulfill my purpose."
Everyone relates to situation.
Everyone relates to a situation differently, and so I think the worst test came when I got over all of it. The worst test came when I had to go back to the church, because we had an appointment there. And so you're not only standing on the same stage where that happened, and it wasn't just one appointment, it was supposed to be a continuous appointment for I think 2 weeks. For a stretch of time. Yes. And so I was back at the same place. I was back at the same spot. I was back where all of that took place, where all of that happened. And so I remember praying to God and asking him, "Lord, do you think I'm ready for this? Do you think I'm ready, if I actually am okay enough to do it?" And I'm thankful for the support of my parents, my sisters, and that's what you need right now. Maybe you're going through that same situation or even worse right now, or you have gone through that situation. You need a network of people around you that will support you, not tear you down, and they will lift you up and keep you in their prayers. That they will not just say, "Okay, everything's fine, you'll be fine because you've got it in you." No, we don't have it in us. That's the truth about it. I don't have it in me to bounce back after a situation like that, but God has it in him, and he is your strength. So
And
what
if you don't?
so if you don't have those family and friends around you, or church family, you know that there is a friend in God. I can have dozens of support, I can have millions of family members, but there is one man that can replace all those family members, that can comfort you more than all those people can, and that's Jesus. So if you're in this situation now, I'm sure you can speak. So if you're in this situation right now, surround yourself with a strong support system. People that love God and that love you and that will be with you through thick and thin and will support you. And that's what I had, because I was faced with going back to where
It all
started. So I had to go back to the same church.
Same people.
The same people were there.
Same emotions
The
associated.
same
with it.
emotions associated with that place.
Mhm.
And so it was hard for me. But I'm thankful to have my parents that surrounded me.
And your
my-
sisters.
Of course,
Thank
my
you.
sisters. That surrounded me with prayer and support and love. And I was able to get over it. I was able to look people in the eye when I could have dropped my eyes and said, "Oh, I'm embarrassed. Woe is me, for I am undone." No.
So what you're saying, for everyone is different. Recovery time it varies,
But you will get better. You will get better.
You will get better.
And I do remember in that period of time also there were 2 incidents. I had a concussion, so it was hard for us at different times, and I kind of put stress on mom and dad in that time,
Because once
because
you
of
have
it.
health issues,
Of course, it's not going to only affect you,
Right.
it's going to affect your
People around
family. And I had sometimes I think back to me having that issue, and I think it wasn't that bad, but I remember how I was in pain and I had headaches, and even when I came off the tour and I went back home,
there are still
side effects to that, like nausea and headaches and different things that affected me. So what she's saying is, every one of us, we have our crucibles. We have something that hurts us, that kind of chokes the life out of us. But the good thing is that
we still have someone that will never leave our sides. And if you at this time, if you want to send in the chat below any situation that you've had in your life that you want to share,
that you feel comfortable with sharing.
Yes, because maybe that could be therapy for you. Maybe that speaking about it, seeing that other people could actually help someone else.
Yes.
Or even help you getting all of that off your chest and letting that go. And I think having it out in the open, even though I've healed from that past experience, I think it's kind of very
completion
and kind of like a closed case, if you will.
Sharing it with you.
Yes. Because finally I have the courage to say, yes, I did.
What did you do?
It sounds like I'm confessing. It sounds like I'm confessing to a crime here. Yes, but yes, I did accidentally urinate on myself while I was singing. But I mean, who cares? I'm still me. I'm still Michaeli Donata Foster, and that will
let out the
never,
middle name, Shanti.
Ever
Go ahead.
change.
And that motivational speech was for $50, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to go and pay for it at this moment. No, they should have paid before they got that inspirational message. Why did we just give it to them for free just now? That was a whole TED talk, sister.
Was it?
Yes.
I see. We need some improvement. Anyway, she's just looking. But I am still me, and God made me who I am, and that does not define me. Neither does it define you. So you can step out of this situation that you're in right now. You don't want to look anybody in the eye. You don't want to get up out of bed because you're embarrassed and scared. But God is with you. And the first step in healing is getting up and getting out of there. The first step in healing is saying, it's okay. I'm fine because God says I am, and I will get up because I have to. And the first step, let me tell you, it's going to be hard. Because the first step out of that bathroom, because there were people outside of the bathroom, was extremely hard.
You kind of feel like you want to lock yourself in.
I felt as if I could lock myself in there for the rest of my life and 50 more years. But I still came out. So let me just give you an analogy. This thing about walking, when you're standing, right, and you put one foot forward. The thing about walking, you're not going to be putting 10 feet forward, or it's 1 foot at a time. And when you put 1 foot at a time, it's like a chore at first. It's mechanical. One, two, and then you start walking. You get into the flow of moving your left hand, your right hand, and it becomes a full body movement until it is normal. And that's the thing with trauma. It's never going to be totally gone. Your limp won't be totally gone, but you're walking.
Because that limp has to stay for others to get healing from it.
And so I hope that my experience, though maybe insignificant to your problem right now, could have in some way, in some little way, impacted your life and helped you to make that first step, that one step in the direction of recovery, that one step in the direction of hope.
So let's say a quick prayer for those who at this moment are facing their crucible, some challenge at this moment that is weighing on you. So let's pray. Dear Lord, we don't come having all the answers. We come knowing that we don't have them. So we're here in your presence again to find them, because at your throne there will be answers for every situation, every problem that we face. And so Lord, someone going through an embarrassing experience, a challenging situation, that a trauma, something that makes them want to hold their heads down and not hold it up, something that weighs on their shoulders so heavily that sometimes they feel they can't make it any further, or the steps that they can take towards recovery cannot be made. They just cannot do it. Lord, I pray that you will strengthen them, hold their hand, and Lord, if you have to be the one to push their foot forward to make the first step, do it, Lord, because there are so many of us who just can't make that first step because we're so scared. Help us, Lord, strengthen us. Be it the challenges that we're facing now, the challenges we'll face in the future, or any situation that will dare to come at us, not knowing the God that we serve. We pray that you will be with us, you will guard us, you'll protect us, and you will give us the strength to go through the challenges that we face. Amen.
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 Thank you all so much for listening to this program. We really, really hope,
And watching too.
yes, we really, really hope that if you know someone that is struggling with maybe what we have spoken about, that is having a situation where they're traumatized. Maybe you can send this to them. It's not too late to share this video. It will still be here tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So you can share even next week, next month, next year.
Keep sharing.
And I want you to be that tower of strength for someone, because remember, it might be too big today for them, and sometimes you may be in a situation tomorrow, and they will be the ones to pull you out of it and strengthen you and support you.
So basically, be kind just as you like others to be kind to you.
Be kind one to another.
That was your simple dose of inspiration right there. We are the Foster Triplets,
and we'll see you next time.